1, 2, 3. Papa's in the kitchen, Mama's in the field. Murder in the hen house, mud flung high upon the wheels. Rooster in the dooryard, just leaning on the horn. Wind sweetly drifting through that ripening corn. Hey me, hey mama, where you been? For so long, for so long. Hey me, hey mama, where you been? Where you been?
My family came to Charleston, South Carolina when it was still known as Charlestown in the late 1600s, and I was born and raised here in Charleston and have lived within approximately an 18-mile radius my 28 years of existence.
I would much rather classify myself as a Southerner, and I do classify myself as a Southerner before I would ever classify myself as a homosexual.
Thinking of living in the South, I definitely believe that living in Charleston, South Carolina specifically, provides a very different experience. I think that Charleston was originally founded and has held these ideals of acceptance in the community, and that we value differences in each other and learn from each other rather than hold each other back and try to force people to conform to a certain way of living, that you are free to be yourself truly.
Being raised and living my entire life in South Carolina was not as bad as people would have you think it is. I have never experienced any sort of homophobia or like bigotry or intolerance of any sort for being gay ever in my life, honestly. Maybe a few snide remarks from kids in like middle school or high school, but those are kids in middle school and high school. It happens. It was nothing that scarred me for life.
And I haven't ever encountered a hateful situation over my being involved in a loving, committed, monogamous relationship with someone of the same gender.
I've been very fortunate, but I think a lot of that has to do with the way I present myself and who I am as a person. I don't fit into actually I don't think I fit into any of the lesbian stereotypes. I'm not a softball player, I'm not a rugby player, I'm not a field hockey player. I don't wear flannel, I don't dress like a man, I don't talk like a man, I don't act like a man. I don't particularly like the Indigo Girls either, honestly.
I would say that I'm not typically gay, in that I drive a 5.3 liter V8 Z71 Chevrolet Tahoe that was my dream car. I worked very hard to make that happen. Maybe not stereotypically gay. People wouldn't think that I'd be driving that. I think that people would believe that this is a very stereotypically gay man. He's gonna talk like this, maybe move his hands a lot, move his head around, have a lisp, and maybe a Vespa. You know, have a motor scooter, because you need to be green, gay, green, they're both G's, gotta do it, it's popular, it's chic. That this is what people would think a gay man is. And I think that most people think a straight Southern man's kind of like this, and he'd be talking about, you know, going out duck hunting, and maybe after that come home and me and my woman, you know, disappear into the other room and maybe make a little bit of noise. You know what I'm talking about? You know, like, no. homosexuals around here. We don't like blacks, we don't like Jews. Women are subordinate. Hunting clothes need to be clean. Got dust blood all over me. People have preconceived ideas about anything you could possibly imagine. What it is to be an American, what it is to be a South Carolinian, what it is to be a Charlestonian.
The only difference between the life I'm leading and the life anyone else is leading is who I might be going to bed with at night, which usually is nobody. But when it is somebody, it's a girl, and like, it's not a big deal. That doesn't change who I am, and I don't think that it's fair that that should define me.
If you are in a respectable relationship, then you will find that you will be respected.
I'm a 20-year-old Charleston native, an advertising student at the University of South Carolina. I'm a Southern lifestyle and fashion blogger. I am a Southern and Low Country history nerd. I am a music snob. I am a graphic designer. I am also happen to be a lesbian. Did I tell that one?
I'm a 28-year-old American male born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm the youngest of 4. I have a twin sister who is 10 minutes older than I am. I have an older sister that is 7 years my senior, and I have an older brother that is 10 years older than I am. I'm an artist, and that includes professional photography, interior design, and acting. I am back in school, and I am also in a endlessly loving, committed, monogamous relationship. He and I met on Christmas Eve 2010 and have been inseparable since.